Okay, so welcome back to Exalted. It's session 11. We made it past 10, guys. Congrats.
Hooray!
Yay!
I will start off with an apology. If you've listened to the last 10 sessions, well fucking done, because I only just realized this week how bad the audio quality was in some of the episodes. For example, the last 4.5 hours of session 10 is almost inaudible, except for my voice, which is really loud. So,
When were you still?
I'm really sorry about that.
We're just gonna dub it over like really bad,
Yeah.
like one of those
like ghost
We'll
stories.
do like
It's
the
ghost
line
stories.
brush.
one of those
Those
dubbed
stories.
over Chinese movies.
So,
It's really badly out of sync.
yeah.
Even though we don't have mouths.
So moving forward, hopefully the audio will sound a bit better. For example, I learned how to do an audio gate in XSplits so that you don't hear the background noise of my bedroom and shit. Really should have figured out how to do that sooner. I'm a fucking idiot.
Fine.
So, when we last left off, the party had just got back to the Imperial City from spending almost a month in Ancho forests surrounding Spider's Crossing, and completed their contract for one Nellens Requista. They returned to the Imperial City to basically rejuvenate a bit, to study up on some charms, to buy some, or to rent some real estate and do some other things. Before Jen's character Denati got a letter or a heliograph from Nellens Malachi from Pasiap's Stair. Warned, who asked Denati for her help with solving a particular issue at the school. But the problem may be bigger than he originally thought it was, and that the fate of the realm may be at stake. With that, the party set out from the Imperial City south through the Stoya and Lamkayet prefectures, almost to Pasiap's Stair, whereupon they encountered two large wyvern-like creatures who attacked them, and coincidentally were also being hunted by a group from Pasiap's Stair, led by Ragara, Calel, Paris. Some of the party members, or has had previous interactions with. But before we go back to that windy hilltop, I would like to take you guys somewhere else. Firstly, going back in time a little bit, and we'll be leaving the Blessed Isle.
Okay.
So, the year is 764. So only a year ago. And the location is southeast of the Blessed Isle. Threshold coastline. City named Thorns. It is the dead of night. And from the walls of Thorns, men can see thousands, hundreds of thousands of men. Creatures that resemble men, marching towards the wall. Riding atop a creature known as a spine chain stands the Maiden of the Mirthless Smile. She's riding it on the back with hundreds of other spine chains, wielding 2 short daiklei. The rest of the army continues to march slowly, but the spine chains move very quickly. And they're heading straight for the wall, and they're not slowing down. From the barricade, or from the battlements, sorry, some of the Imperial Legion soldiers who are manning the walls are looking down. One of them yells to their captain, "She's not slowing down, sir, and now the army's moving too." "The whole army? What the hell? I don't believe it. We're under attack." "Open fire," calls the dragon-blooded soldier who leads them. "Shoot her! Shoot! Don't let her get here!" he cries as the spine chains start climbing the wall. "Shit! I can't hit her!" yells one of the men as he fires his bow down. The men plead for their lives as the spine chain comes up over the wall and the maiden lands her daiklave into the dragon-blooded's back. From the battlefield, one of the other soldiers of this abyssal army sees the signal, tells the nearby catapults to fire. "1 volley for range," he says. "Yes, sir," says his subordinate. Then, a double dozen catapults begin winding up. But these catapults are different from the ones that we know of. They are made of flesh and sinew and bone. They look like giant arms. When they're ready to fire, they hurl giant crates filled with skeletons. Crates of skeletons start flying through the air, dozens of them, and they fly over the walls of thorns and into the courtyard. They crash and smash, and black Icarus skeletons and ghosts start pouring out of them. Once after the first volley, hundreds of more cages of skeletons start hurtling over the wall. From the battlement, the Maiden of the Mirthless Smile stands surrounded by all of the corpses of the men that she has slain. He looks down into the courtyard and sees the chaos that is being wrought. "Move it, you," says a soldier, as he climbs over the wall, using the spine chains as ladders, and directs some soldiers, zombified soldiers, to begin attacking the other parts of the battlement. The maiden says, "Get a team to open the gate. Finish clearing these walkways." Yes, ma'am, say the 2 men. She jumps from the battlements down into the courtyard. A dozen legionnaires look at her and try to kill her, but she swipes them down with ease. Then a man steps from the gate, clad in heavy red jade lamella armor and carrying a dire lance. He says, surrounded by maybe 50 other men, "Stop this demon now!" She looks up at him, her form now drenched in blood, and says, she lunges towards him. After a brief moment of conflict with the other men, who fall like paper being torn, she pirouettes, kicks 2 of their heads straight off, swipes upwards, slicing another in twain, then moves towards the man in armor, and with a single flick of her daiklave, completely shatters his dire lance. He puts his hands up and drops to his knees. Wait. Please, why are you doing this? We surrender. We already surrendered, he says, as the armies of the undead pour into Thorns, and she decapitates him. That was a year ago.
Ooh, spooky.
And very few people are aware of what actually happened there. It is known... Yeah, well, basically a massacre, yeah. It is known that the City of Thorns, the realm-controlled City of Thorns, was attacked by something. And that something was shrouded in darkness, and rumors are spreading that it was the legions of dead under command of a creature or ghost or some other powerful being known as the Mask of Winters. These are just rumors now that are beginning to make their way back to the realm, that perhaps some of you have caught wind of the last couple of months. With that, we head back to Windy Hilltop, where the Bramble Wyverns had just been killed. You guys, just been introduced. You're standing over the corpse of, standing near the corpse of one of the Bramble Wyverns and near the corpse of one of the men who was under the charge of Paris. About 20 meters to the north, other Bramble Wyvern that Irow buried in a landslide.
Whoops. Sorry.
Good job.
GG.
So, let's continue the game.
Right. Well, the last thing we did was have our little conversation, and I think we ended on Faska walking away from us.
Yeah, I
Or
literally
trying to
jumped
walk
up
away,
on the
yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
walk away. Yeah,
Awkward.
awkward.
Okay, so I look around and see that Faska's trying to drag this man away.
I think she's trying to drag Somon by his coif or something, and trying to get back on the tornado to leave.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the 4 remaining young Dragonbloods who are under your charge, Paris, they have moved the body of their fallen comrade to the side of the sort of path that goes through this area, and they're now moving to begin dissecting and collecting various monster parts of the Bramble Wyvern. Your contract, if you could call it a contract, your task was to just kill the Bramble Wyverns, but they have a number of useful, like their body parts have a number of useful uses. So things like their hide can be made into armor, their poisonous glands can be used for storing poisons, various organs can be used in chemical things. So having killed them, you've helped out the local townspeople of this mountain, but you've also the school will need some of the parts just generally anyway, so that was sort of your secondary objective. Without being told, they just get on with their jobs and start doing that whilst you guys are getting introduced. And can you guys hear me? Good. Good, my internet dropped. Oh. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. So, what did you guys not hear me say? At what point did I cut out?
You haven't said anything, basically.
Yeah.
Did you
You're
guys
just
hear
like
me? I mentioned that the men were basically carving up the
Yes.
the
Yeah.
bramble
that,
within.
I
And
think
then
that was
that's it.
basically the last thing we heard you say.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
I was basically
that it
explaining
had-
that
yeah.
that part of the contract was, well, the main part of the contract was to just kill this thing, but the secondary part is to bring some of its body parts back to Pasiap Stair, because the school will be able to use them both in like alchemical stuff and in like armor crafting and various other things. The school is fairly self-sustaining in that sense.
Mm.
That was basically the essence of what I was saying. So, in the meantime, whilst they're carving up these dragons, what are you guys doing?
Just in the off chance that I didn't loyal weapon my daggers from its butt, I'm going to take my weapons back.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, you sort of look at where the men are starting to carve up, and you go to its rear end, and you find your
Kinda, like,
your
bend down
Damascus
and
steel
disappear.
dagger just sort of protruding from underneath one of its scales. You notice as you brace your hand against its body to pull the dagger out that its flesh is almost rubbery. It's kind of bizarre.
Ew, I
and
don't like- I
and
don't
after
like it.
you and then you pull your dagger away. Oh wait, you're wearing gloves, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Had you brushed your skin against it, it would have been a bit like touching poison oak.
Mm.
You would have got like a
uh,
rash on your
Irow.
skin.
Is Irow okay?
Yeah, Irow, you've got like a few minutes has passed now, and you realize that there's like a rash developing on both sides of your arms where you bear hugged this thing's neck.
It's also really itchy.
It's pretty itchy. It's not gonna kill you or anything. It's just a nuisance.
I want to ask Paris what he knows of these creatures and if this is dangerous.
Hey, Paris, I got this
Let him
rash.
speak.
I
Got
wonder
this
if you could
rash.
look
Oh,
at.
I don't know anything to do.
Oh, God.
I just start scratching a lot.
Yeah.
Are you gonna answer him or what?
Huh?
Oh my god.
God damn it, Scott.
Sorry,
Fucking pay attention!
I was paying attention.
Clearly you weren't!
What was the
turned-
last thing that Pinda said? See, you weren't paying attention.
All I remember was the stuff about the rash. I'm sorry. It's just before it turned too low for me, so I'm gonna have to turn everyone up. There we go. Should be able to hear everyone properly now.
Butts.
There we go. Appropriate sound
So-
testing.
Okay.
Mm.
Irow assumes that Paris knows a little bit more about these creatures because he was hunting them. So I ask him, this rash that the skin of the dragon gives off, is it dangerous to anyone, or?
I wouldn't know.
I mean,
Do you wanna ask Will if you know or not?
Do I know well?
Apparently you don't.
I'll just
Stupid.
God damn it!
look.
Ask the person with medicine skill.
yeah, as Denati.
Paris isn't the fucking. Paris doesn't know lots of medicine.
So
Alright.
okay.
Do I overhear this conversation? Can I like lend some insight?
Yeah, you can.
Awesome. What do I roll for it?
What's your medicine level?
5.
No, I'm not gonna make you roll. You've it looks like poison oak rash. So
Am I gonna die, doctor?
it should die down after a few hours.
Die?
I look up after I've like yanked my dagger, still kind of covered in bramble wyvern blood, and
So
I just
naughty.
kind of like flick it off, and I'm just like, I overhear this conversation, and I look over at him, and I'm like, Irow, you should be fine. It looks like a poison oak rush. Just don't scratch it.
Don't scratch.
I mean, I think I should be more worried about the poison that dragon injected, so...
Managed to shrug that off.
I know, but still.
Actually, no,
it's
you got inflicted with some of it, but you
Yeah.
you may be a little bit woozy for the next hour
Yeah.
or so, but you're
It's like
basically
you
fine.
clenched your butt cheeks, and it's just
I expelled the poison out of my butt. Yes.
Oh.
Jesus.
So.
So by this time, I finished pushing Somon back onto the tornado, and I'm going back for Irow now.
I'm
let's
just
go.
thoroughly confused by this goings on, and I'm just like, yeah, we probably should get going if we kind of want to make it there before too long. 'Cause I'm gonna start getting fatigued.
Oh, speaking of fatigue, sorry, there is a minor patch note.
how dare you?
Yeah, apologies. So
fatigue is lower, and then
So basically, your maximum fatigue is now the same as your physical endurance, and then the armor that you wear reduces your maximum fatigue.
And then if you have second skin, it cancels
And
that
then
out?
yeah.
Okay. Well, my...
So yeah, so you'll have less fatigue, but it should be easier to track now rather than stuff in
Right,
weird
yeah, okay.
brackets. And then if you do get fatigued, if you go over your maximum, then you just get a disadvantage to all rolls until you manage to bring it back down. So you roll one less d20.
I mean, I'm not wearing any armor, so it's no problem for me.
No, it's no problem for you, and it's no problem for Jen, but
Nope.
Or me.
What is your physical endurance?
6.
Not you.
Me, or you?
Yes, you.
4, I believe.
Not a problem, he says.
Same.
Yeah, but I have 2 layers of second skin, so.
you're only wearing light armor as well, though, mostly, so...
I can't really high five Irow because it doesn't make any sense, but if Denati and Irow could high five, we would be high fiving.
Okay.
That's 6 physical endurance.
So...
Yeah, hurry it up, because otherwise I'm going to start getting tired.
Sure. Are you gonna wait for...
Hello?
Hello?
hello.
Hello?
You dipped out for a second.
Are you gonna wait for...
Anyone?
Pinda? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Pinda.
Yeah.
I can hear
Yeah,
you,
I
yeah.
can hear you.
Okay,
but
so it's
is
Pinda
here?
that's...
Pinda, check in, Pinda.
You can hear us. Anyway, carry on. Yeah, so do you want to travel with Paris and his troop, or are you just gonna get on the tornado and leave?
Yes, it works.
Yeah.
Right.
I
I
think we
mean, I
discussed
guess
that
we'll go on
last
ahead,
session.
because otherwise we're going to be sitting around waiting for him, and I'm just going to be, like, massively fatigued, and it's going to take us ages to walk back.
There's probably from here, if you were gonna walk with Paris and that lot. You're about half a day's journey away from Grey Mask walking, but then you've got to ascend the mountainside to Pasiap Stair anyway, which probably won't easy. So it's up to you. I'll just say out of game that if you decide to not go with Paris, then you're basically booting him from the session for another
it.
hour or so.
Aw. Alright. You have to
Like
convince
crying.
Faska somehow.
I
'Cause
mean,
he's
we
like,
can.
I'm outie.
I'm going. If we fly to the base of the mountain, I'm going to need to sleep for an extended period of time before we leave anyway. So he has plenty of time to catch up.
Hmm.
So what is your fatigue?
You said we'd been traveling till about midday or something like that last time, which puts me on 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, yeah. I mean, like, you won't, you can gain 2 more fatigue before you have to start rolling to pass out.
Hmm.
Like, you don't pass out as soon as you hit 4, it's after you go over your maximum.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if I have to sustain the tornado for another 2 hours or whatever it is, I gain another fatigue, and then 2 hours out of that, I gain another fatigue, and I'd rather be rested. So we could fly to the foot of the mountain and meet him there.
Sure. I mean,
Yes.
if that
Because we're not going to be doing anything.
if that sounds agreeable to
Sure.
Scott?
Hmm. I don't really know.
It's okay, we can walk with
Be
you.
decisive!
Paris is not fussed either way. He wants to get back to Page upstairs like as soon as possible. He's just worried it'll be a little bit awkward with Faska.
Just a bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a really.
I mean, you're gonna have to walk with him up the mountain anyway.
Yeah.
Paris is fine either way.
the path up to Pasiap Stair together.
Yep.
Alright, so you collect yourselves and step back onto the whirlwind, and
Faska kicks both Irow and Denati up into the tornado.
And just like pushes them, just roughly.
uh,
Gently, roughly.
unless any of you want to
Yeah, I mean, sure.
since it's like extra, basically dead weight.
Literally.
Literally.
Poor choice of words.
Literally dead weight. And they need to carry monster parts back. And they're now down a member of their team who was going to
Yeah.
help do that. So, yeah.
Mm.
Plus,
If
with the
that's-
Immaculate Monk among you, can put them to rest properly.
Yeah.
So everyone but Denati, plus a dead
Is on the
body,
tornado. Yeah.
gets on the
Plus a dead-
tornado,
God damn.
and you guys head off before someone gets too tired. So,
Load me up with dead body parts.
God.
flying, basically cutting across the path and heading over the more what's the word? Okay.
Don't want to carry Somon.
Meanwhile,
And a dead body.
And a dead body.
over the course of the rest of the afternoon, Denati and Paris and the other men begin dissecting this beast, or these beasts, rather, and tie them into bundles, and see that they brought like a sled with them that they were dragging with them through the forest, and got left in the forest when they started running after this thing. Probably the rest of the day to catch up with the rest of the group. So, in the meantime, does anyone have any conversations they'd like to have?
Yes. I would like. I was to ask Faska. So, what's up with you in Paris?
What the fuck was that about? Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I don't know what you mean.
Appropriate response.
Next
That's
week,
good.
here's-
I mean, as much as I don't want to, I'm gonna empathy check the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
How do you want me to
Faska
roll,
make social reflex plus deception.
Okay.
And Irow.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Irow
guys, you can do
and
it.
Somon.
You can do it.
If you roll mental socials, no wait. Yeah, mental strength plus empathy.
You basically have to roll
Actually, no,
doubles.
social endurance plus empathy.
Okay.
Nope.
Fine.
Faska,
No.
Faska does not know what you're talking about.
You've never seen a more truthful man. He just doesn't know the man. He has no clue.
Yeah, I expand him. Like, I just think that perhaps
We should hurry.
we should hurry, since it is a big since it has been made a big deal, and of course stopping for casual conversation isn't really our priority right now.
Fair enough, but then we should have brought Denati with us, to be honest.
Well, we are waiting for her, but I would rather we have time to rest and recuperate from that rather than have to walk
Fair
a long
enough.
time. With that, Faska goes and his rations, and then pulls out his bedroll and goes directly to sleep.
It's like 9 and yeah.
Hey, leave me alone.
Actually, no. By the time you get there, it's probably only sort of mid-afternoon.
This is fine.
By the time the rest of the party catch up, it's probably closer to 10 at night.
Alright, fine. We'll have lunch. Lol. Directly to bed.
Harry gets there and Faska's already asleep. Quote, asleep.
Goodbye.
Okay, so
Making snoring noises.
Has his pillow over his head. Well, wait.
Denati, you and Paris managed to finish up, and the other man managed to finish up getting the parts that you need. Seems to be mostly the spines that were injecting all this poison with the glands attached, and then also as much hide and sort of rubbery scales as you can get, plus a few teeth that might be sold in like nibs or something. And you start dragging your sled and carrying what you can carry, and continuing up the path, around through some more moorlands, and then it dips into more like a high sort of mountainous farm area. A few hours later, you approach a thin forest. You cross a river, and then head back into moors, and you eventually, as the night rolls in and you're traveling through the dark, you come across a small campfire in the distance, 100 meters or so away. Do you and Paris chat at all throughout the day?
Well, Denati didn't really catch the interaction between Paris, Somon, and Faska, so as far as she's concerned, she doesn't know about any of the awkwardness. She probably would ask, though, how things are at Kejak. First off, she'd ask how long they've been hunting this thing.
Sorry. I didn't quite catch what you said there at the end.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
No, your mic
You
just
kind of cut out.
Yeah.
Okay. You're forgiven.
Wow. Anyway,
God.
I
I would
think
ask-
she was meaning to ask how long did it take to hunt stuff.
How long has he been away from Pasiap Stairs? Like, how long has he been hunting this thing with his group?
How long would I have been hunting the thing?
You can make stuff up if you want. Like, I'm not gonna tell you every answer to every question.
Only a few days. We were told to hunt this thing down since it'd been bothering local towns.
And you said this group comes from Pasiap Stairs. Then how's the school so far?
I believe, my superior officer will inform you when you get there. I don't quite know your relation to him, so I don't want to disclose anything that is too, secretive.
Secretive.
I
Just
see.
say it. Just say secretive. Too classified.
Too classified, yes.
Denati shrugs and remains quiet for the rest of any potential conversation.
Okay. Is Paris asks, what is your exact reason for going to Page Upstairs? Is it just to do with my boss?
Well, that's classified.
Paris sort of laughs and then says touche.
But enough with the secret information. Do you know if Will, Malachi is part of the Nellens, right?
Yeah, Nellens Malachi. There is now an NPC entry on him.
It's blank. No, I don't know. Oh, okay. Oh, hello.
He's old.
He is very old.
He's a badass.
He's got
He
a
looks like one.
scar. Yeah. He's got dim scar though.
Anyway, alright. So I'm a little bit more at ease after this classified joke, and I ask him, or I say, enough with the secretive. Do you know if Nellens Malachi is up there still, isn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
We're there to on his behalf. He requested I come up here with the group that you saw us traveling with. Not entirely sure as to what, but he hinted that perhaps there were some dire events that were happening.
Well, since he asked for you personally, I assume that he is asking you for what the information I do currently know. There has been some issues at Pasiap Stairs recently. Usually students go missing. It's nothing much. It's usually 1 or 2 per season, but over the last year, 15 students have gone missing.
I'm 15 or 50?
15.
Ah, okay. Denati was a little surprised there because she heard 50 and she was like, "Oh my god!"
There's some rumors floating about the students that they went down the stairs, but those are just rumors, so we can't really confirm them.
It's strange. I mean,
It is unfortunate, but hopefully we can find the source of the disappearances.
that is very strange. I studied in the House of Bells, and with our types of schools, you always have a few that unfortunately can't complete through their graduation, but disappearances entirely. I don't think I've heard too much of those.
Yes, of course students, of course they go missing or they end up in accidents, but 15 is very, very peculiar, especially for Pasiap Stairs.
I'll mention that there is a slight rivalry between House of Bells and Page Up Stair. Friendly rivalry.
Like, lol, your team mascot sucks.
Basically, yeah. But it's mostly among students from the 2 schools, so Paris probably isn't caught up in all of that. Not
Yeah,
actually.
We're graduates. We're adults.
Yeah. Well, there's a rivalry among the staff as well, but it's the what's it called? Paris has only been there for a few months, I think, so he's not patriot of Page Up Stair yet.
Just a little over a year now, but he
Yeah.
doesn't get involved in the slight silliness of it all.
Are you a teacher?
I'm just a trainee staff member as of now.
Oh, okay. And then, I don't know, I assume there's like some sort of companionable silence. Unless Scott has more things.
I don't think so.
Okay. So, I'll say at about this time, after a few moments of silence and a bit more walking, to the bonfire, and catch up with the rest of the party. So, Somon, Irow, Faska.
I'm now
you,
in it.
you see a group of 6 people approaching, dragging a sled and carrying some bundles of things. Assumed to be the party that you saw earlier today, plus Denati. They come into the firelight. You see that it attacked them. I'll say during the day, once you arrived here, you Irow went through the proper burial rites and dealt with this man appropriately. Yeah.
I think I've also prepared food for everyone.
Oh.
Pretty much. Some tasty rice, yeah.
Delicious. I'm in for that rice.
So like the moment they arrive, I'm like, welcome
Yeah.
to our humble camp.
As you step into the camp, you're hit with like this wafting scent of just mouth-watering spices and flavors and
Spies.
spices, I said. And you like it almost smells like there's some amazing stew being cooked with all sorts of ingredients and flavors and so on and so forth. And then you like open the pot lid and it's just rice.
This is not just rice.
This is
Advanced rice.
Irow's immaculate spice rice.
Delicious.
I'm in for get rice.
Yeah, you
I'm in it for the rice. I grab myself a bowl and I start tucking in. Bye.
Yeah, I'm probably like as soon as I'm done whilst I'm eating, I'll sort of like say hi, but basically as soon as I finish eating, I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm really tired.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another small thing actually. There's I finally decided to write down official regen rates as opposed to just trying to remember them on the fly all the time. So here you go. Here are the regen rates.
Oh god.
And meditation has changed, so it doesn't increase your healing rate anymore, because I realized that the quick healer narrative passive already does that. So meditation just means that you're prone whilst sleeping instead of incapacitated, which means that you technically don't need anyone to keep watch because you're always prone instead of incapped when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it means.
Okay, fair enough.
Note that if you attempt to force dumb rolls to grind for insight, you will be slapped.
Yeah, so fatigue, insight only regens from sleeping when you get your fatigue back to 0, and as you have also reduced the rates at which sanity and face regen.
I mean, Irow is still slightly wounded, so I think he goes to bed early as well.
Say you sleep from 10 p.m. until about 6 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
So that's...
So I should regain all my motes then. I didn't spend any. So.
Yeah, so you should
Yeah.
regen
9
18
motes.
motes and
Yeah, then definitely.
90% of your maximum health or maximum blood. You'll
And
9 fatigue and gain 1 insight. And if you've lost any sanity, you'll regain 10%. Yeah, you'll regain 10% of your maximum
max health.
sanity from getting a full.
Alright, so I was on 130, so that means 146. Still not fully sane.
Yeah, so sanity's been fifth, I guess. So you bed down for the evening.
So I pretty much like regain all of my blood, right?
Probably. It's basically if you're reduced to 0 blood, and you don't die, then it will take 10 hours of rest to get you back up to full health.
I only lost like 40 blood.
So, yeah, you'll.
10%.
10% of your maximum is like 21 or something. Back
yeah,
up to
plus
full
the quick
with no
healer.
problem. Oh yeah, plus quick healer. So
And then sanity's also 10, so that would be 14. So it would be put at 130. Right?
yeah, but you only gain that once. It's not.
Yeah.
A full rest for you.
I'm taking a full rest, right?
Yeah, this is a full rest.
Nice!
A full rest is one that reduces your fatigue to 0.
Okay, so ow! Son of a fuck!
And so
Sorry,
this means that if you guys are like in the middle of a dungeon, say, and you need a bit of quick healing, you can just take a rest for an hour, and you'll regain 10% of your max health,
Okay.
etc. You'll gain some
Yep.
motes back. So it's a tool now as opposed to just a. It happens whenever the day ends.
Mhm.
Alright, before I go to bed for that full rest, can I recast the invisibly hidden chakra method?
Yeah, you can.
Awesome! Yes. And then I regain through the night, so I'm at 19. Oh crap, what have I got to do?
So at some point, if you've not already gone to bed, you see Denati draw her daggers and throw them into nowhere, and then not go
Again.
and pick them back up.
I like to think that she just has this nightly ritual where she just pulls the daggers out, just throws them away one after the other, and then goes like, right, I'm going to bed.
See, like, these guys are a little bit used to seeing it. Paris probably isn't.
Yeah, probably not. This looks very strange to you.
Paris is he's slightly confused, but he doesn't bother asking about it.
He's tired. Faska's there. Good night.
He just goes to bed.
Where
On
are
the
you,
opposite
where,
of the
yeah,
camp.
like where are you sleeping? You like on opposite ends of the camp, or?
As far away from each other as possible.
He's as far away from Faska as humanly possible.
You boys.
He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sleep far over here.
I just want you guys to know
It's just more
that.
comfortable here.
I just want you guys to know
this rock
that
is very comfortable.
when Will was like, "Oh yeah, we come across the bonfire of the other party," this is immediately what I thought of.
Oh boy.
What is this? Okay.
Amazing.
Sure.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I just imagine that feeling you get in Dark Souls, where it's just like you've
Yeah,
been
you
going
just-
for a really long time. It's just like bonfire.
Firelink Shrine theme sets in.
Yeah.
Cool. So you
Didn't you? That
sleep-
was you
sleep
that
through
rang
the
the
night.
bell of awakening.
Hello. I don't think we've met. Yes. Anyway, so you. I was about to say you rang the bell of awakening. God damn it, Rob. You sleep through the
Yes.
night, and
You need to stop playing games.
Pinda, now that we remembered how your meditation works, no one needs to take watch because you just sit there meditating,
Yeah.
fulfilling the same role. Especially since you have all-encompassing Earth Sense now.
Mhm.
It basically means you guys can't be ambushed whilst resting. You can still be attacked whilst resting, and you'll have
Yeah.
to deal with getting up out of bed and defending yourselves, but you, at the very
Actually,
least...
though, that's not true. We could be ambushed while we're sleeping by something sneaking that is flying.
Yeah, you could be... Yeah, okay, you could be attacked by flying things,
Like
or...
a Bramble Weaver.
Or you could be attacked by something with celestially perfect stealth.
Yeah.
But yeah. Generally... Generally, you can't be ambushed now. And no one needs to take watch or anything like that.
Okay.
God, I peeled back the curtain and I got blinded. Never mind, I hate that.
Fucking Daystar!
Fuck you,
You...
unconquerable son.
Yep, so you begin to wake up. The embers of the fire are still just barely smoldering. It's been quite a cold night. You guys have got like thick blankets and raincoats and stuff. So you still don't have a proper tent, but so it is colder out here than it was in, say, the jungle last month, but at the very least, yeah, you can still, you're fine. Especially Denati and someone who have ways to deal with the cold now.
Do we?
Well, someone does naturally, and you now have a cloak.
Oh, right, that's true.
I'm never cold unless it's really, really cold.
Unless you're, like, in the far north, yeah. You're never hot unless you're in the far south or in a volcano or something.
Or actually on fire. He's awake.
He's...
He's sitting in meditation, but it's fine.
He just-
Faska just curls around him like a cat.
Just curls up on his lap.
There you
You'll
go,
shit.
perfect.
Cool, yeah, so you wake up, start going through your morning rituals, and...
Irow wakes up and Faska's there.
I already knew Faska was there.
Irow just bench presses Faska casually, like no issue.
Oh, Faska, thanks for your help in my exercise today. Let's do some squats.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you Yeah, you make breakfast, you rub the sleep out of your eyes, and get ready for a pretty lengthy trek up the side of... get to Pasiap Stair. So, you head out. Heading up, and it's basically a very slowly winding path that goes sort of zigzags up the mountainside. And probably get to the peak of this, more of a ridge, intersection of these three prefectures. Not that it's marked in any way, but just and gets to around lunchtime by the time you're...
Lunch.
The men kind of take turns dragging the big sled up this part of the mountainside, and they struggle in a few places where it's the weight of it and the roughness of the path kind of means they have to lift it at certain points. And
I help him out.
Yeah, me too.
Between us, we make it really easy.
Yeah, with Irow's help, and anyone else who's joining.
Excuse me, what about me?
Excuse me,
I
these
roll.
are sorcerer's hands.
Yep, yeah, so between all four of them, plus presumably Paris, Denati, and Irow, you manage to alleviate some of the difficulty of getting these monster parts up the side of the mountain. And, yeah, you get to the ridge, and the wind has really picked up at this point. You notice that that there is like a lot more like spring snow is still around. You're high up enough now that yeah, you're like you can see in the distance the peaks of the Dowrash Mountains do still have some spring snow on. Around you on this ridgetop there are some small, like, slowly melting deposits of snow.
It's like Skyrim.
Yeah, it is. I mean, in fact, that screenshot, or that picture from earlier, is a screenshot from Skyrim.
Don't know that I've ever really encountered snow before.
Question: have any of you seen?
Paris might have, since he's...
I mean, you've all seen it on mountaintops, like the Imperial Mountain is always covered in
Yeah.
snow, for instance, but up close and personal.
How high up is the Cloister of Wisdom?
Cloister of Wisdom is not that high up at all. It's in the mid
Okay.
grassy field almost. Well, actually, no, it's in the moorlands of the southern Incas prefecture, but it's still not mountainous for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they have any mountains at the House of Bells.
The House of Bells is in the Arjuf prefecture, and there is some mountains in that area, but nowhere near as high as the Dowrash and...
Paris has been at Page Upside for a little over a year, so maybe he's encountered snow.
Oh, yeah, you've definitely encountered snow before.
You went through the fucking winter here.
Yeah, the winters up here, they basically get completely snowed in Pasiap Stair.
It looks like Heptagram's also on a mountain, so.
Heptagram's on an island. though.
Heptagram's on an island, but it's in the north. Yeah, Heptagram gets a good sheet of snow.
There you
Okay,
go.
so we probably haven't seen
So,
it since I was
yeah.
at school.
Mhm.
Because I know
In
my home is basically like the Mongolian steppes equivalent.
Yeah, like if you go further east of the Isle of Voices, you'll see Yatoshin Prefecture is like mostly tundra and like taiga, or taiga, however.
Tiger, yeah.
So yeah, like there's a lot of climate diversity on the Blessed Isle, and
So it's the first time I've seen snow in a long time. I try and make a snowball, but I forget that I kind of suck at it because my hands are always permanently warm.
it's also like packed spring snow. Like, you know how
Yeah.
ice, or when snow begins to melt, once it's sort of been compressed enough,
Yeah.
it keeps itself cold for months. And so it's like it's sort of like a mini
It's like
iceberg
ice
just
that isn't
sitting
ice.
Yeah.
on the surface of the rock. So you sort of put your hand into it and you melt a small handprint into the snow and try and like pull some of it out to make a snowball, and it kind of like cracks, and then the whole bit of snow that you'd pulled it out of like shatters, and then the snow that you pull into your hand begins melting as you start trying to form a snowball.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Faska's on the other side, and he is able to bend, because snow is mostly
Yes.
water.
Yep.
He's able to bend a snowball, and then he throws it at Somon. And it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
Make a
Whilst
roll.
whilst you're forming this snowball, Somon, Faska, make a physical strength plus throw roll.
Wow.
This is not gonna go
With
well.
this count as an exploitative attack, so all he had to do is hit.
I don't think it's gonna deal damage.
I fucking hit him!
Yeah, whilst you're forming this snowball, trying to make it not melt and trying to get it into the right shape, you just get on the back of your head, and as a perfectly formed snowball smashes into the back of your head, and some of it goes down the back of your neck and like into your collar. And you're wearing
Faska
armor, so you
quietly
can't
laughs. Yeah,
you can't get it out.
And then it melts while it's
Yeah, and then it
turns
melts.
into water and soaks into your stuff.
I try to warm myself up, but then I'm just warm and wet, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, now there's just like steam coming off your shoulders.
Turns into water and slides down into your blanket
Oh.
like a shower.
Like,
Really cold.
amazing.
I scowl at Faska, and when he's not looking, I wipe my hands on his shirt.
Would that happen though?
I mean, sure.
I mean, okay.
I don't know. I mean, do you want to?
I mean, yeah, I would probably notice that he wipes.
Yeah, but
I mean,
also
I'm not like disguising it. I'm just like. Meh.
I mean, the water on someone's hands at this point is like quite warm.
Yeah.
He tries to wipe water on you, but instead what he does is wipe steam because it's evaporating. It's like he's ironing your shirt for you.
Thanks.
You look down and your sleeve is perfectly pressed.
For the first
I'm
time
not sure that's how that
in
works.
months.
It's a perfect pan print, but it's just like incredibly stiff.
Okay, you come over the ridge, you have a miniature snowball fight, and then stop for lunch.
Denati has never come up against this shit, so she's like, what the fuck is this crap?
Yeah, this is interesting to you because snow and ice kind of embody two aspects of the elements of this world. So yeah, it's interesting to you.
I attempt to make a snowball. It falls apart in my hands.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about that. As you go further north, you would like it's all snowy and shit as you go further and further north, but at a certain point, it stops being snow and just starts becoming solidified air. Until like you're in this like plane of frozen air, effectively.
The elemental
in like
coal of
in a
air.
constant blizzard.
Knife, take me there.
So in some ways, yeah, snow is like frozen air mixed with frozen.
Interesting.
Yep.
I take my gloves off and poke my hands into it.
Feels nice. If a little shocking to be touching something so cold. Yeah, it's an interesting new experience for you.
Awesome. I have never actually felt snow in real life, so I'm making this shit up.
Ah,
Really?
right. Okay, go put your hand in the freezer. That's basically
want
what
to,
snow
it's
feels
cold.
like.
No.
I feel sad there's people in this world that haven't experienced snow. But also happy because they don't know icy hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, yeah, it's awful. I hate snow.
It can be good and then it can be bad.
Listen, it's
Bless you.
Thank
It's
you.
fine if it stays for 3 days, but when it stays the entire winter, then it's
Yeah.
awful. And it just piles up and it doesn't melt because it's too cold. And, it's
and
like
then
and then it
awful.
turns like brown and grey on the roadsides.
Yeah,
and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
mushy
it's
and
gross. Ugh. And then it ices over and stuff, and then it's just like, ugh.
like
Anyway.
mixes with the mud on all the footpaths and
Yeah.
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 it's just
I kind of
Hey,
imagine.
it- it's a pain to ride a bicycle through.
It's a pain to
Hashtag-
drive
hashtag-
through because
hashtag-
you just-
Hashtag Dutch problems.
Yeah,
Hashtag
just
Dutch
the-
problems. Hashtag American problems having to drive through the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Remembers the horrible shitty snowstorm we had a couple of years ago? It was so bad.
Mm.
You couldn't get anywhere. There was
Yeah.
ice paving every road.
Britain is
Yeah.
like not built for dealing with snow. So
And then when it happens,
every
everyone's
time
like,
we
"God
get
damn it!"
every time we get it, the country just stops. Like they don't know what to do.
Like the entire country goes in a standstill, and everyone's like, anyone,
Yeah.
you know,
See, the
got
thing is like we have precautions here and we have like ways to deal with it, but it's still awful. I hate it so much.
The Americans have problems driving in snow, the Dutch have problems cycling in snow, and the Welsh just have problems finding the sheep.
Wow. Ridiculous. Anyway,
So you
continuing
finish your lunch and you head through what is essentially a small valley in this part of the mountain range. Sort of to your left and right there are, and Paris leading the way basically explains that around the corner, an hour or two's walk. And you come to, eventually, pass up against this part of the mountainside where there's a fairly sharp peak. On top of the peak, you can see what appears to be some kind of cylindrical tower with a it almost looks like a lighthouse, actually, but it's like on top of this mountain in the middle of nowhere. Would like to surmise what this object is? Suppose. Does anyone think they know what this is?
Your mom.
Thank you.
In character or out of character?
In character, does anyone?
No.
Nah.
In game, then, if if you guys would want to roll law, mental reflex plus law, or ancient, whichever's highest.
Mental reflex. Nope.
Second, mental reflex plus lower is.
You know what it is, Paris.
Okay.
I have no idea.
All these nerds who know nothing.
Wait, what was it again? Lore plus.
Law plus mental reflex.
Mental.
Hey, if you give me 16 hours and
Yes,
enough
I
paperwork,
pass.
I can tell you
I
exactly
pass.
what it is.
Irow
knows.
Irow knows. Yeah,
I
so
passed,
Irow,
yes, I just passed.
you've seen
I
these
think
before.
also logically that makes sense as well.
Yeah, you've seen these before. You haven't seen one for a while. Last one that you saw was at the palace of fuck, what's it called?
The Palace of Fuck.
Wait. I know what you mean.
Next to
It's
the
in
Cloister
the
of
Onyx
Wisdom.
Curtain district, isn't it?
Palace Sublime.
Palace Sublime. Yeah, there's one of these in Palace Sublime. This is a heliograph tower.
Ah.
It's not what I thought it was then.
So you sort of look at it. It's got like a lighthouse thing on the top that's actually a mirror, magical mirror that will send signals from other towers all across the Blessed Isle. Technology that's existed on the Blessed Isle since before the reign of the Scarlet Empress.
Oh.
Now just continue to be used by the realm. Still works and incredibly useful.
Nobody knows how it works, it just does.
So,
Very adept as mechanicus.
as you come around this mountain peak with the heliograph tower on top, to your left, this building comes into view, or a series of buildings, in fact, comes into view. They are basically a set of white towers, square or rectangular towers, with some kind of red tiled roofs that are kind of pagoda-ish in shape. And there's hundreds of windows, a few lights from within, and you notice that the whole building appears to be surrounded by this wall, effectively, that is same red brick stuff.
Cool.
Oh.
And yeah, there are sort of torches lining a roughly ground staircase that leads around the side of the set of buildings. So you're basically coming down this side towards the
cool.
main gate, which is down here. And you see that the walls, the red walls, as you come up closer to them, there are, it appears to be a number of people are manning the walls, and they're watching you very intently as you come into view and start circumnavigating the side of this building. They're not attacking you outright, but you do see that they have some weapons armed, pointed in your direction. And you hear some inaudible shouts from within.
I guess we weren't expected.
I mean,
That is surprising.
the letter said as soon as possible, so
Perhaps
Guess the
you've
memo
come
didn't go
faster
out.
Perhaps you've come faster than they've expected.
Perhaps Paris should take the lead.
good idea.
Paris is taking the lead.
So Paris takes the lead. The men kind of gather up around you. They basically take to the front of the procession that you're doing and leave the rest of you to walk behind
And drag all this bullshit.
No. They're dragging it in front of you, basically, but they're ahead of
Okay.
you. And you come around to this giant, it's like a portcullis gate. You can't really see it on this picture.
You can sort of see
I'm
it
adding some
down
extra
there.
stuff mentally. So there's basically a portcullis gate here with what appears to be like some wide swinging doors from behind the portcullis, and then it looks pretty well defended, and it's currently all closed off. And above you, you can see some open windows, or they're not glassed windows. They're just open holes in the building above you, and you can hear some voices from above as you approach the gate. And we're gonna take a brief break there
Good, because I need
before
to
we
go to the
enter.
bathroom.
Yes, so do I. So,
It needs to be
10-minute break?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So, from over the edge of the from above you, you hear these voices. Sort of can't quite make out what they're saying. There seems to be a scurry. You hear some footsteps. To you, Paris, this is pretty normal behavior. They're generally sort of, you're expecting them to peek over, see who it is, and let you in. However, instead you see the one man who you really didn't want to be on guard duty right now.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
See a man with very mottled looking skin, kind of darkish yellow skin, peek over the balcony effectively, and look down. He's got this sort of fringe of a beard and a mustache, and he wears a constant scowl. You hear him call over the side of the balcony with his distinctive accent that is common from his home. Hang on, let me finish. He has a distinctive accent of that, which
Of a man
is
from
associated with people from the swamps of Hajuba, which is south, or it's actually in the prefecture that you're in now. Basically, if you keep going down the other side of the mountain, you'll come into the Hajuba swamps. And he calls out
You
from...
tell me he sounds like Mike Myers.
Not quite, but almost. He calls out from over the side and says, Who the fuck are you?
What are you doing in my swamp?
I hadn't even made that connection
Didn't know
until you
Shrek
mentioned
was
it.
coming to us. Are you sure this is Exalted?
I literally hadn't made that connection until you mentioned it, but I guess,
Can't
yeah.
believe we're in
That's
Shrek's
his name is
swamp.
Shrek.
Exalt this love, exalt this life.
Ah, fucking hell. Are we gonna get Eddie Murphy later?
he looks.
The sounds of Smash Mouth drift down from the rafters above us.
This is what the guy looks like, but with a beard.
He actually looks like this.
God, the fact you're like the most Shrek.
Oh,
Fucking hell.
Fuck me.
he's a Cathak.
Catholic. You don't know that yet, though.
Cathak
know.
Garel San.
A very angry man.
Paris shouts up. It's Ragara Calel Paris. Cathak Garel San is
I know who you are! Who the fuck are they?
They are people who have been
Can I
called
put
on
my
by...
hands on Paris's shoulder and interrupt?
Paris shoots
He's
you
like 5 meters ahead of you, remember? They moved the sled in front of you.
Paris shouts. They've been called upon by Nellens Malachi.
What?
I
They've
step
been called
forward.
upon by Nellens Malachi.
That doesn't answer my question. Who are they?
I step forward and I say, "My name is Nellens Denati. Right. I was sent for by a member of my family, Nellens Malachi." And then I gesture to the other three behind me, and I say, "This is fuck, I forgot y'all's names. You know what? I gesture them to come forward and introduce themselves."
Cathak, Irow.
Cynis, Belar, Faska.
Sesus, Kejak, Somon, at your service.
These are my associates.
These Hmm.
He doesn't say it. He thinks.
You don't hear anything, but there's a moment of silence, and you think he rolls his eyes, and then calls back and says, "Malachi sent you."
Sent for us, yes.
Hear like inaudible swearing, and then he says, "You'll have to wait outside." Continued silence, and you hear probably the sounds of him walking away.
I sigh
This time
heavily.
I roll my eyes and I'm like, I don't know.
Paris
Are all of
sighs
your
heavily.
compatriots so hospitable?
He is a very unpleasant man to deal with.
I can see that, yes.
Just who exactly is he?
He's the head fight trainer. I suggest you don't anger him. Anger him further, he is a loose cannon.
I like how we still haven't gotten his name yet.
Yeah,
I did shout it.
he did. Yeah.
No, he didn't say his name.
No.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
tell me.
you
I
did.
asked who he is, and he says, "Oh, he's the head trainer." But doesn't
No,
tell me the
when
name of the man.
when he yelled, "It's me," and then he said his
Oh,
name.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So, Irow, you may have heard that then.
Yeah, do I know this person?
You don't. you don't
Okay.
like he's in a different household to
Yeah.
you.
Also, you're an immaculate monk. You're no longer tied to matters of your house.
I still get my name though, so.
It's possible you may have heard, like, if you got properly introduced to him and maybe had a chat